Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. It's the Truth Serum. I'm coming back at you. And I was looking over the video I did, Joey Merlino and Mike Franzese. And I want to straighten a couple things out. Number one, thank you for the support and supporting me. Got more views than I thought. But of course, you got to be smart and put these big names in the thumbnails. So I'm learning as I go. So and as we're all adults, and we know that some people prefer whoever they prefer. It's a smorgasbord of personalities, mob characters, and we might think more or less of this guy, and you might think more or less of this other character, and it's just human nature, and who's right, and who's wrong, and who's right, and all that. I understand that. And then there's a lot of misinformation out there also, and it gets to be a big rodeo. So number one, I want to thank you for your support. And I did that video, and when I heard, because I didn't read the paper of that, I just thought that when they collaborate and do things, I just thought maybe they were going to do a collaboration like Mike and Sammy and then make money off of it. And I thought it was a Bush League move that Mike would do to say, well, why would you get a lawyer involved to set up whatever, just call and be a man about it. You're supposed to be a tough guy. Then I comes to find out that it's like, I guess it was Mike wanted to put up a lawyer to make a cease and desist, set up a cease and desist that Joey Merlino couldn't talk about him or anything like that, or they might shut Joey Merlino down. Then another theory is that some anonymous guy wrote it up and sent it to Joey Merlino as a fraud or something or whatnot. But so now I have to guess. But if it wasn't about doing a collaboration and have lawyers meet, so because I just thought, well, Mike wanted to do something, or they were going to collaborate, and Mike didn't want Joey Merlino to bring up anything about Norby Walters or anybody else that Mike might have ratted on. So I just thought Mike might have, which is a natural assessment that you can make. But so if it wasn't that, then then it's worse that you'd have to have a lawyer come up with a cease and desist and quit talking about my father and my brother and my family and all that, Joey. Don't go there. You could do all this and that, but don't go there because family is family and all that. Well, hold the phone, Mike Franzese. What now this moral compass that you have? So if you were a mob boss, what about all the hits you put out on innocent people? And didn't that hurt their families and their father and their brother? Well, didn't that hurt them now that you have this moral compass? Really? So, how dare you talk about my father and my brother and talk about the personal stuff? Oh, but so that's off limits, Mike Franzese. That's off limits. It wasn't off limits when you murdered or said you murdered, or you had people murdered and destroyed those families. Murder is a lot worse than somebody talking shit about a family member. So you come on there with some type of moral compass. Come on, this is a truth serum here. So enough of that gibberish. Whatever the reason was, or anything for that matter, what is truth? What is fairy tale? And then he gets up there, and then he did a reaction to whatever Joey was saying, and he was telling Joey or whatnot, you have no right. You crossed the line. Well, when you were talking about family and all this and that, who made you the authority on what people say on YouTube, Mike Franzese? Who made you the authority? And then you try to integrate it with morals coming from the Columbo family, which was one of the most sadistic families. Now you have a moral compass on don't talk about you've drawn the line. You've drawn the line over there. Really? Yeah. Okay. I believe personally that he did send. At first, I just thought, well, if they want to do a collaboration or whatever, and there was legal stuff or whatever, we'll just call the guy and talk to him, and don't be afraid about if just talk to the guy man to man and say, hey, listen, we'll do this, but don't bring up nothing about me ratting on anybody. We could talk about a lot of different stuff, but if we do a collaboration, don't talk about me ratting on anybody. That's all. If it was to be a meeting in that light. If that's what was at play. But no matter what the reason was, you're a tough guy mobster, but they're trying to say some anonymous guy drafted the letter, and Joey Merlino and his buddy that does the show, they're all wrong about it, and Mike had nothing to do with it. It's just what you folks want to believe, who you believe, and they all got supporters. Sammy, John A. Light, Mike Franzese, Joey Merlino, they all got supporters, and they all want their guy to be the right person. They Kevin Flack, thank you for coming in here. It's 4:00 in the morning here on the East Coast. You see how crazy I am, Kevin? I just come on here. Joey, the guy should be, that guy should have got Mike to go ahead before it be sent that text message. Well, I mean, you talk about mobsters and this violence and this persona and all this other stuff. Mobsters don't want to think about lawyers. Whenever there's lawyers involved, it means that you're being indicted on something. Oh, cool. Cleveland's in the house over here, joining me at 4:30 in the morning. But lawyer this, lawyer that. No, unless you're in a pinch, you don't want to talk about lawyers. You gangsters. It's all like a swear word. You don't want to talk about lawyers. If that was the case in this situation, you don't want to. A lawyer means jail, money, indictments, and all this other stuff. Business that could just be done man to man and say, hey, listen, you know what? Maybe we don't agree on a lot of things. We both have a history. We're personalities on YouTube. Let's just sort this out now. Well, yeah, Mike's got lawyers on retainer with that $500 million. He's got lawyers on retainer with Joey Merlino starting up. I don't think Joey Merlino's that wealthy or not. I don't know. But he just doesn't have lawyers on retainer and say, well, here's 5,000. I need to do some paperwork with Mike Franzese before anything. But I guess it was a cease and desist. That he's worried about Joey Merlino bashing his family like it violates some moral statutes or, Well, how can you be the boss of a violent crime family? My godfather did a lot of work for that family. My godfather did a lot of work for that family. So in one breath, you're the boss of this violent crime family that destroyed families. But in the other breath, oh, don't talk. You don't have a right to talk any shit about my family. Really? What are you, just some pompous, like I said in the other video, you're just some megalomaniac, pompous guy that you set the rules, Mike, because you're a big shot on YouTube. You set the rules and all you peasants follow along. Why don't you come out of that fortress over there in California and go to Florida? Go to Florida and tell Joey Merlino to his face. Go to Florida and tell him to his face that you draw the line. Well, you don't have to do a cease and desist if that's the case here, because there's a lot of information. And I just don't want to assume, but I'm guessing that he got pissed off that Joey Merlino was showing the true juice on Mike Franzese, the real facts that could be looked up and documented in historical data, and it's there. So why don't you go down to Florida where Joey Merlino is in the streets, not afraid. He's not afraid to walk the streets. Why don't you go down there and say, Minga, pal, listen, hold on here. What the hell's going on? You're killing me. Maybe I can rise your channel up. You could restart my channel because Francese's channel is flatlining and Joey Merlino's is rising high. So maybe you can rise my channel up a little and we could both benefit from it. Yeah, we can act like we're pissed off at each other, and we could give the people the show that we want. We're good marketing strategists. We know how to do this. We know the demographics of our viewers. Come on, Joey. We could do it like this. We don't even have to like each other that much, but we're gangsters. We're hustlers. Let's rise this shit up. Let's give the people what they want. In the thumbnail, Mike Franzese confronts Joey Merlino in Florida. Ooh, that'll get 10 million views. But like I said before, I support Mike Franzese in his political views about our country and the way it's being run. My hat's off to the patriot that Mike Franzese is. Yeah. He should have known not even to give it a shot if he did. Joey, no way will talk to it right. To a rat. Mm-hmm. Mike Franzese stands behind his defense as, well, nobody got indicted on what the information I gave. You intended to be a rat, and you did everything a rat would do. If somebody, whether the prosecution or the prosecutorial process, wherever the trajectory of that went after you gave them statements, it doesn't undermine the fact that you were the essence of doing that. So it doesn't matter what happened after the fact. That's what he stands by. And if you guys only think that's Norby Walters or anything else like that, like I said before, I got swampland for sale. I'm just guessing, okay, here for any future whatever. But I would guess that he was in bed with them for way longer than you thought he was in bed. And there was a lot of stuff that might have happened between him and the feds. I'm just guessing. Okay? So that persona and all that and everything else is all bullshit. It's all bullshit. And Joey Merlino could say whatever he wants on his channel. If he didn't like what you did, Mike, accept it. But then you get on there and say, oh, he went overboard. He went too far. And you're talking about all these types of personal things. Well, why? There's freedom of speech. It's social media. It's freedom of speech. It's freedom of speech, buddy. Come on. It's freedom of speech. You don't like it? So you're pissed off because you're so moral about what's presented on social media? Was it so moral where you claim to be the boss of the most murderous crime family known to mankind? Was that moral too, buddy? So now you got a moral compass where you don't want another mobster talking shit about you or your family. You got a moral compass on that, but you don't have, well, I'm a changed man and I found, I run a church now and I sell wine and I sell my socks, I sell my underwear, I sell cruises for $10,000 and you're selling everything under the sun. But, so now you're the moral compass on what should be said or not said by anybody else, where if you are what you claim to be, then you were behind many hits that happened, and you devastated families, wives, children, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, grandfathers, cousins, aunts, uncles. If you're the guy you claim to be, then you devastated. Murder is a lot worse than somebody talking shit about your family. If you're talking about morals, come on, man. Does he just think the IQ of his viewers are that just slanted? And he's always condescending. Now listen, spend 10,000, go on that cruise, buy my wine. Guess what? I got pizza and vending machines now. I want every penny I can get because that $500 million is enough. It's not enough. Now listen, Billy and Sally. Now listen. Holy cow, buddy. What's going on here? Ain't that something? Can't take his wife on a nice, quiet cruise to Cuba or everything. He wants to bring 100 or 100 more people to come in tow and pay $10,000 a head, then so he could sell his wine while he's at it and sell any other trinkets he wants to. I mean, just go with your go with your honey there and just go have fun. What's she gonna do? Be sitting in the motel room while you're entertaining the 100 guests that you bring along with you? What a chiseler! Yeah, Kevin says the guy really don't have anything to worry about if you want to go back to New York. Yeah, I talk shit about it. Go back to New York and all this and that. But at the end of the day, everybody's dead. There's nobody left. Are they that paranoid? Because they really know what they were. So in the psychological thinking of the logic, they're thinking, boy, I was such a whatever I was, that somebody's lurking in the shadows somewhere. So it's a defense mechanism that probably says, no, I can't walk no streets. He's in a secured fortress in California, and I don't know, Sammy's in a cave somewhere. These are your big social media mafia personalities. Think about it, folks. These are your mafia personalities. Yeah. Yeah. He's in that cesspool of politics and all that woke and all that. He picks that. In his commentary, he's all against that, which I respect. He's all against that gender bending and all this woke. But then you reside in that state when you have the money behind you I'm in this state of New York, which I hate, but I don't have the resources to just say I could go here, I could go there, and all this and that. But just go find a fortress somewhere else, like, in a state, but, and give something back. Give something back while you're selling. Joey Merlino's giving out turkeys, clothes, everything else. And yeah, he wants to make money. We're entrepreneurs. They want to make money and sell T-shirts and any type of merch or merchandise. Yeah, Joey Merlino ain't exempt for that. And his buddy there that does a great show. They're not exempt from that. But I'll tell you one thing. At least they're going in there and they're for the underdog. They're for the underdog to say, oh, here's a little helping hand. Here's a little helping hand. Mike Franzese is only so greedy. Good morning, Joe. Mike Franzese is so greedy that he's making all this money off of all this stuff he's selling, and then he's at like some church under the auspice of a church. So guess what? You don't have to pay taxes for that. So more. He's addicted to more, and so he dodges the taxes because he's doing business, I reckon, as a church. So why don't you show you got hundreds of millions of dollars, you got a camera crew, you got producers, you got editors, you can make a Hollywood movie. Why don't you go in the streets of California? Because those homeless are getting closer to your fortress, if you haven't noticed. Why don't you build a building to put the homeless vets in while you're so greedy and you're trying to just get more and more and more? And you're so righteous under the church of Mike Franzese. Well, didn't Jesus want to help the underdogs? You said you read the Bible in solitary confinement. Practice what you preach, bro. Practice what you preach. All you're doing is selling. Now listen, I got a cruise for 10,000. I got some wine now, and I got this I'm selling. That's fine. But if you're such that righteous man, the Church of Mike, and you read the Bible and stuff, well, why aren't you in the streets doing something for the underdogs? You have respect for America, and I respect your views on that. And you have respect for the veterans, and I admire you for that. Hats off to you, Mike. I love your commentary on that. I love it. I'm right aboard with you. Good, cool cat like that. And I'm not hating you. I'm just putting it out there as a commentary. It doesn't mean I have to hate you. But why can't we see a heartwarming video about your patriotism and those vets out there that are struggling, and you see it in California? No, there's no heartwarming video. What, that might cost a couple thousand to produce, Mike? You might have to get an extra cameraman while you're this big Hollywood producer of years ago. What? You have all the resources and everything else, but you're greedy, and you're the authority on everything. You're the authority. You got your viewers, and of course, the mob channels is a smorgasbord of personalities. Some people like this one, and some people don't like this one. Well, my guy is always right, and your guy is always wrong, and that's the only way it could be. No, I try to spread love and compassion in other videos, and people are people. We become what we become. We shouldn't be judgmental, and we should just rise up as humanity and just have goodwill for each other. And don't harbor any of the deadly sins within us, which we could fall victim of. But we are emotional creatures, and I still get pissed off about stuff. And I need some content for my channel, but Joey Merlino is gonna give you some good, fresh content. He's gonna act like a regular human being. He's not gonna talk down to his viewers, and he's doing it the right way. That's the kind of guy I knew, like years ago when I was running around crazy. He reminds me of a couple, three other guys that I knew. Yeah, be a dangerous guy, but just because there's a guy that's dangerous and has the propensity to be violent at certain times doesn't mean that there's also a good guy. Well, how, Joe, can that be? He must just be an evil person then. So he's defined as an evil person. Well, no. We're just human, and there could still be a guy that joins the fraternity of the mob, and then he has to perform his duties, but he could still have love and compassion in his heart. So you people that watch these videos just think these are robotic mob gangsters, and their psychology is violent evil, and there's no room for love or compassion in their heart. No, you're wrong. They're wrong. I got along with a guy years ago that was running around in that crew. I thought he was the most loving, kindest guy on the planet and everything else. And then in the aftermath of everything that happened, I found out he was one of the most ruthless killers ever known. What? Jeez, we're gambling and we're having fun. And he got pissed at me, but it was all right, But, and I'm thinking, this guy did that, but to me, he was a good guy. I define him as a good guy. He was in a fraternity called the Mafia that he had to perform certain duties that happened to be violent. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. But I'll tell you one thing, they might have had that side to them, but I would trust them to watch my child. I would trust them. They could be a mafia guy over here that could have certain behaviors connected to that fraternity, to that life, but in love and compassion and family and stuff like that, they'll maintain that respect. You could put them at higher esteem to watch your 2-year-old child. So, I mean, we view this, but people want content. Mike Franzese tells good stories, but don't be condescending. You're not the authority on everything that happened. Yeah, there's a baseline of truth that you say, but you're always the hero. You're always it's like, did you ever lose a sit down? Did you ever lose a thing? I mean, he's really good cerebrally speaking, mental hopscotch. He's really good in all that stuff, and he could see 3 moves ahead. But you can't just paint a picture over 1,000 videos that well, geez, nothing else ever happened. Did some guy say F you? What about this? What about that? Go screw, Mike. Ba ba ba. What happened? Were there any other scenarios? But that might just tarnish your image, which you have to maintain because you're running a channel and you have to maintain that facade, which is good marketing. I got degrees in marketing management, advertising, psychology, human behavior, math degrees, street smart, book smart. I know everything. I even did relationship counseling. Me. Crazy me. I should have gave therapy to myself. Okay? But we love it. But in 20 years, all the guys are going to be gone. All there's going to be left is historical data. Well, there was a guy, Mike Franzese. There was a guy, Sammy. There was John. There was this other guy, Mike. And it's just going to be historical data. And, but they're going to keep it alive and going. And Joey Merlino is the new rock star on the scene. And you're going to love him. And I like the style. If you're looking for the true essence of like a legitimate mobster, the gangster personality, which is nice. He's also a nice guy, heartwarming, but he still has that side of him. Just as a human being, he might have that side of him, but it doesn't mean like you just know people that could get pissed off and mad about stuff and just still be a good person. Well, just because he was in a fraternity with the mob, which might be violent more than everything else amongst other people, but he could still be a nice person. And that's the variable. If you were doing statistics and analysis and variance and all that stuff, we won't unpack. But that's the little variable that now there's a more commentary with a different flavor. You got the Sammy flavor, the Mike Fat flavor. Here's the Joey flavor. And now I think you're going to like this flavor because he's legitimate. What you see is what you get. And he tells the stories, he tells the stories awesome. Yeah. I had to get this video off my chest, Joey. So I wasn't asleep. So I says, well, let me do it. I'll post it on YouTube. And, but no matter what, the mob guys, if you're going to contact each other, you don't need lawyers. If that was the case, you don't need lawyers. And if you want to put a cease and desist on the guy, if that's the true case, or why would you do that? Text him or something and say, get a hold of somebody. We could talk behind the scenes and we could straighten it out. But no, Mike chooses to do a video after that to say, "Oh, could you talk shit about me? How could you talk shit about me and my family? How could you, Joey? You crossed the line, Joey." Really? Are there any lines you can cross when it comes to the mafia? When you murder people? So that's off the table. Talking shit about somebody or whatever you want to talk shit about, that's off the table, Mike Franzese. But, while murder was going on when you were sitting on the throne, what, really? Really? How can you refute this commentary? How could anybody with any type of thinking apparatus, how could anybody refute this commentary? Come on in my comments and comment me and how the smart asses come in the commentary and refute it. No matter what the case is, because anybody could put misinformation out there and you can attach yourself to the truth or the lies. We all know that's in play. But at the end of the day, don't get up there and talk shit. Do a video and talk shit to Joey or whatever and say, "Well, you crossed the line and you did this and you did that." You were sitting on the throne of the most murderous crime family ever. And there's murders going on left and right. So what's so bad about talking shit? Nobody could talk shit about your family. But you could ruin other people's families, hundreds of people, mothers, daughters, children, aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers, sisters, while all those hits were going out. Well, that doesn't come into this equation. What, we just can't fit that in? You could just spoon feed in whatever you think. You make all the rules. Yeah. You're the king. You make all the rules about what's right and what's wrong with mob commentary on social media. Okay. All right. Forgive me then. Please. I apologize. Forgive me. I apologize. Okay. Yeah. So, Joey Merlino, he's a rising star as far as social media. And Mike Franzese, he kind of flattened out there now. I guess people are getting sick about you begging while you got $500 million. People are getting a little sick of you begging. Buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that. Didn't you tell us a story about the $500 million you got salted somewhere? Huh? Well, yeah, you tell good stories, but then you're selling everything but the kitchen sink. Please. I feel embarrassed for you sometimes. Go back, folks, and look at Mike Francese's video about when he was trying to sell spots on the cruise for $10,000 to go to Cuba. And then he's promoting his wine, and every other sentence. Now don't forget, folks, go to this website, spend the $10,000, and I'm gonna sell wine, I'm gonna sell cigars, I'm gonna sell my shoes, I'm gonna sell my socks, and come on, man. Holy cow. You ain't got enough? Go into the streets of California where there's homeless veterans and put something in their hand. Build a safe house for them. You got $500 million. Build a safe house for them. And sooner or later, the federal government will subsidize it. You knucklehead, you're so smart in business. Sooner or later, it'll be subsidized under state legislation. Get the ball rolling first. The Church of Mike Franzese. Are you cracking jokes? You're always taking. When are you going to give? When are you going to give? Huh? We'll all hold our breath for when you're going to give something to the people. And if you believe in Jesus Christ and all of that Jesus went out to help the downtrodden. He didn't go to the palaces and all of that. He went into the gutters and helped where he could. Well, you were in solitary confinement, you claim, and you read that Bible. Well, didn't you learn anything from it? Maybe you learned how greedy that Roman Catholic Church is today and yesterday, and from day one, how greedy that Roman Catholic Church is. We're not going to unpack that. When all they do is take, take, take. So, I guess you learned that from the Pope. Take, take, take from all the suckers out there. I guess you learned that. I guess, my bad. I guess you learned it from there. Forgive me. I just put 2 and 2 together. I put 2 and 2 together. 2 and 2 equals you. 2 plus 2 equals you. So I want to clear that up in case people, like I was just saying on my prior video that, Mike Franzese just wanted to get a lawyer to make up a legal document to do a show with Joey, but he wanted to make sure that Joey didn't talk any shit about him being a rat. So maybe I was wrong about that. I don't know, because we can only guess. We can only guess. But if it was for Joey talking shit about him and getting a lawyer to make a cease and desist, that's even more shameful. Okay? So if I was wrong in video 1, if that's the truth, what I just elaborated on, that's even more shameful, bro. Big tough guy mobster, you need a cease and desist? Go talk to the guy. Go talk to him. Have one of your sit downs. Another sit down. Well, here's some conflict you're having, Mike Franzese. Here's some conflict. Go do a sit down with Joey Merlino. Get out of that fortress, that secured fortress over there, and go to Florida on your private jet and straighten it out. Like you talk about in all your mob videos, your sit downs, and we had to straighten a problem out now, this and that. Well, straighten this one out like a gangster. Forget about lawyers and cease and desist documents. Gangsters don't like to deal with lawyers. It's a bad negative connotation. It's a bad implication of lawyers and money. You got lawyers on retainer. What's Joey Merlino want to get involved with lawyers and all that shit? He's a man-to-man guy. Come on, man. You're shaming the Columbo family, bro. I wish my godfather was still alive. There's old timers I know, they don't even want me doing a show. And I showed them one of them and they went, what is he, a nut? What happened? Is he just a nut? I said, well, that's social media, YouTube and this and that. Well, quit doing that, Jojo. Quit doing it. Well, I just get on there, blah, blah, blah. I don't make any money, whatever. I got a book, They Dead Missed. It's a memoir. Amazon. I'm sick of eating bologna sandwiches. Let me eat steak. Order the book. They Dead Missed. Memoir. I'm not a tough Guido Mafia guy. I'm well educated. I'm well seasoned on a lot of stuff. I could navigate the human language quite properly and everything. I might have screwed that up right there, but I could navigate the human, the English language. You know, does these tough Guidos that, you know, they made it to 4th grade and then, you know, they went in the streets and everything else. There was a lot of wise guys that had very high IQs. And they could see through that bullshit about Mike Franzese. They could see through it. And there's regular Joe Blows that run around, regular normal human beings that could see through that shit too. You don't have to have any past history with them. You could just see it. If you could look for any cues in human behavior or anything else, any subtleties here or there, you'd have, at some point in time, you'd say, this guy's full of shit. This guy is full of shit. You know, you don't have to be an FBI forensic psychologist that can read and all this and profile and posture and all that kind of stuff. No. Well, and, you know, tough guys are the guys that support their families and try hard, be a good human being. And it's the tough guy. As we all know, that's a tough guy that, you know, is doing whatever he has to do to make his family safe and rise up and prosper and be good people. Mold them, nurture them, and rise them up. That's the tough guy. That's the tough guy that is trying to do that. That's the tough guy. But if you want to claim to be this righteous person, and you're telling all these stories about how wealthy you got and everything else, and for how since whenever you started doing your church and your channel, why don't we see now if it ever comes to the fact that he says, well, I donated to this, we're gonna have to see the paperwork on that, like, because we know you're a very particular, meticulous guy that's really evidence-based thinking about, well, you could say I want facts, evidence, boom, 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 if they fall within the standards of the standards of the truth. So, but a year from now, he might say, "Well, I did this for that and that for that," and he just might be saying it. You got a Hollywood camera crew, you got producers, you got editors. Let's go see you present a check to the mayor and say, "We're going to break ground on a building for the homeless," and you might get off $40 million of that $500 million you got. Let's see that video. Let's see the mayor breaking ground out there where those poor homeless vets are running around. Get them on their feet, where they're suffering from a lot of psychological, mental health issues. You're so righteous with a $500 million or even more, but it's all lip service. And what you do the opposite. You begging your viewers to spend 10,000. Buy the wine, buying pizza out of vending machines. But what the hell's going on here? Boggles my mind. I'm not some people say, "Oh, Jojo, why would you say that about what? Like, you're afraid? You got to be afraid." I ain't afraid of, like, what, Go Browns and Buffalo. Good games last week. Joe Flacco, he's steady as a veteran, and the Bills upset Kansas City. So thanks, Kev, for hanging out. Thank you, Joe. We're some night owls over here. I just wanted to clarify that no matter what the case was, if it wasn't to drop a contract about doing a meeting together, and I thought maybe that Mike Franzese was afraid that Joe Merlino might say, "Hey, don't talk about me being a rat. We could talk about other stuff." So I thought that was shameful. But if I was wrong on that, and it was for him writing up a cease and desist to say, if you talk about my channel and talk about my family, that I'm going to have YouTube shut your channel down. Now, if that's the case, maybe that is. But then he claims that some imposter made that up and sent it to Joey Merlino as some kind of bust his balls or practical joke. And Mike Franzese didn't know anything about it. So there's the three scenarios. My guess, if you want to know my guess, is that I would go for door number 2, Monty Hall, and say, I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm man enough to say I could be wrong. But I would guess that he was watching, Mike Franzese was watching Merlino talk shit about Mike and his family, and Mike took offense to it. And that's why that option number 2, that probability number 2, that I might choose that, and he want to make a cease and desist, send them a cease and desist. I could be wrong. They're saying, Mike says some guy with another story behind that, some guy had a hard on for him or got pissed off about him, or somebody connected or whatever. I don't know. A worker from his production crew or something. I don't know. But he's trying to say, oh, and he just put that out there as misinformation. But I guess Joey Merlino put the document on there. So if there's a legal document on there with reference numbers, that's public knowledge that you can have access to. So if anybody wants to take that a little farther, well, ask them if you're an investigative mind to see, well, say whatever that document is, well, there's the Freedom of Information Act, and well, let's just see if that is a proper document that said cease and desist, Joey Merlino, unless you frickin' don't talk shit about me. So you folks decide on where you stand on that. I wanted to do a part 2 just to strain that out, because I just thought, I was only thinking that just like because Mike Franzese did that show with Sammy the Bull and they sold videos and everything else. So I just thought it might have been under that same umbrella. But Mike wanted to, so I thought maybe Mike had a lawyer draw up a paper and say, well, Joey, you got to agree to this because you might freaking trick me. And then we start doing a interview, and then you start talking shit about me being a rat. So I just thought that might have been what was at play, which might be. But you folks decide. Maybe more will be revealed. But if there is this so said document, which I might be believing, well, then but I'm just doing content here and everything. I'm not going to try to say, give me the reference number, give you the where was this generated from? Is it a hoax from some guy, or is this, can a public official collaborate this? Mike called him out of the show, text messages on his phone. Let's see if Joey shows up. The text. Yeah. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if there was a document and Mike says, well, it was some guy that made up a phony document and tried to bullshit Joey Merlino to do that, well, then there's reference numbers on there, and you could find where that information, where it was generated from. So that, I mean, if people really want to know, this is the truth serum. So the truth would be in, well, wherever that would be filed. First, you'd have to ask them on that paper, what office of the government office was that generated from? So once you know where that they say it was generated from, you can go back and look in the records and cross-reference. Here's a document number, because there's all types of descriptive identifying material on these types of things, especially if it was a cease and desist order. So there'd be documentation for reference numbers, and this is where it was generated. This is how it was filed, and you could access that. So there's a way to find out. I mean, if Joey Merlino and his buddy, that good kid he's got on there, well, if they wanted to take it one further and say, well, you know what, maybe we got duped here and some kid's playing a joke on me. If that's the case, well, let's just check this out and see where this document was generated. There's identifying numbers on there. So there could be an easy solution to finding out what was at play. It's not everybody's got to be out here just guessing about it. It's new, fresh gangster stuff out there, and it's good talk. It's good conversation. So it's exciting, I guess. But it's very easy to squash. That's all. But I'm putting those scenarios out there, which are that could be the possible reality of what really happened. That's all. Ric Flair came on there. The Kevin, Ric Flair came on there, and boy, he was the best promoter. Boy, he had swag. He was the king, and yeah, I like that. Ric Flair. That was cool. That was cool to do that, talk like that. Mike Franzese sat with Columbo's Joe Columbo's. So he sat with Chris Columbo, and they talked about stuff that was very interesting. And Chris Columbo was very polite, and of course that was the Columbo family, and Mike was in with them and everything. And that was nice. They kept it on an even keel. there. Um, you know, do a collaboration with Joey Merlino and talk it over. That's all. Sell some videos. You're a good marketer, Mike. You're good at marketing. You sell everything but the kitchen sink. So do that. I'll tell you one thing. Joey Merlino will get to 1 million subscribers faster than you. You've been at this game for 10 years now, or however long, 4 or 5 years. Joey's been doing it for a half a minute, and he's getting thousands of subscribers every week, more and more and more and more. You know, people just like another personality. People might love Mike, Sammy, and Joey. They might like them all. They just want to hear the stories, and they don't care about who's lying or anything like that. They just want to hear mob stories. Even if you tell them a fake mob story, they still want to hear it. They want to hear it. So you go to Sammy and Mike for if there's some fake mob stories in there, but you want to hear the real stuff, go to Joey Merlino if you want to hear some real truths about stuff. Okay? That's all. That's where I stand on it. So that's cool. I want to get that off my chest just for some clarity. And that's no matter what, I support Joey Merlino more. Sammy the Bull, he tells the stories, whether they're fake or made up or whatever. He's good, but they're interesting stories. I'm not gonna lie about that. Mike tells you stories you could fall asleep like a bedtime story. It's good. It's good juice. It's good juice. But so. Yeah, even John Jr. is making a podcast soon. See, they're all coming out everywhere. Well, everything's a hustle. These guys are born hustlers. So is it that far-fetched to think that a guy, a mobster, a mob guy would be lying on social media? Is that far-fetched to think that a guy with such a past would come on? Is that such a far-fetched concept that, oh, geez, so-and-so lied? Well, yeah, he's been a con artist hustler since he was 9. Is that so far-fetched to believe that the guy's a bullshitter? Well, that's just human behavior. That's human psychology. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. You still go out and have fun lives. Rise up your thinking, rise up your hope, rise up your belief, and don't have the world dictate whether you have a good day. You know, the world could be a vampire, like I say in my videos, but don't be like you have to be submissive to it. Only you have the power to dictate whether you have a good day or not. Don't let other people decide your emotions and what you're going to do on that day. I like Anthony Ruggiero. I like him too. Kevin Flack knows what's going on here. Kevin knows. But yeah, this stuff is fun and everything. But outside of all that, you gotta, I do other stuff. I do Facebook where I try to raise people up in their daily lives, in their relationships, and don't give up. I was dead for a spell of time. I came back. The angels had mercy on me. So I do try to spread love and compassion, and I am for the underdog. That's why I get pissed off at Mike that just wants to sell. That's why I get aggravated about it. You're such a humanitarian, the Church of Mike. Well, go help out somewhere. You got $1 billion over there probably. Practice what you preach under the Church of Mike, a DBA, doing business as. Practice what you preach then, my friend. Well, what the hell is it? That's why I get pissed off. I was taught the right, I was nurtured the right way to help out if you could. And people, and I don't have a lot, but I was taught, to be for the underdog. You can't judge them like that. We don't know the road they've walked on up to this point, you know. That's good. Stay clean, Kev. Be the king. Be the king. After a while, it ain't like you're trying to stay clean, like I'm counting the days off the calendar. It's just normal. I don't even want to be praised for being clean for 10 years because it's just normal to me. I don't need praise just to be a normal cat out in the world. It's good well wishing. Yeah, great job and everything else. But I don't need that's good. That's good well wishing. And oh, geez, it'll be 10 years. It'll be 10 years next month. I chose to destroy myself. So I appreciate the well wishers, but not they wanted the methadone, Suboxone, and everything else. You see, I'm very outspoken on such matters. That a friend of mine that I love, ex-doper, run crazy, and everything else. Excuse me for technical difficulty. Well, Joe, you're on methadone and Suboxone, everything else. You're getting high every day. Yes, it helps not to go into the streets and buy drugs off the streets because there's not even dope out there anymore. Anyways, it's all fentanyl. So you can't even be a heroin addict anymore. If you wanted to, you can't even be a heroin junkie. And I said, bro, not for nothing. God bless you. At least you're not committing crimes to go get your dope. At least you can maintain a job and support your family. Yes, my hat's off to you. But you're still a doper. You need a substance to maintain through the day. You were born without needing foreign substances in your body. You were born where a human being doesn't need that naturally. We need food, oxygen, water, and everything else. But your body, so you're not performing under the state of a natural human being. I support you that it's the lesser of two evils, but you're not clean. You're not clean. Your piss test would show a foreign substance, being Suboxone, Subsidose. They got 9 things out there, methadone, and everything else. Yeah, it's good that you can manage your life when you take this stuff. I was also degreed in addiction counseling. A guy that started out on pain medicine, went in the streets, did heroin. I was already educated with psychology degrees and addiction counseling, but you're not clean if you do a piss test and there's something in there. Yes, you need to maintain and carry a job, and you need methadone and Suboxone. Yes. So you're doing good. I applaud you doing good to manage your life. I applaud you doing that, but you're not clean, my friend. You're not clean. But that's okay. That's okay. You can still be a good guy. You're still a good guy. You can still be a good person, supporting your family, doing the right thing. That perfect. But you're not clean. That's all. No big deal. No big deal. No big deal. That's all. I'm clean. I'm clean. I piss spring water. When I piss, it's like spring water. Okay? Maybe a little coffee mixed in there, but what are you going to do? Yeah. Yeah, whatever works for them, But if you go that far and you got your mind set and you got your life stable and your life is stable, then just kick for a couple weeks. You're going to Jones, reduce the dose, but you might have a little monkey on your back for a week. You might Jones a little, but now you got your true self back. See what that methadone will do. Now I see these people that were on methadone 30 years ago, their bones are all brittle now. Their bones are brittle. They're having heart attacks from being on this stuff for over decades, like in the New England Journal of Medicine, where a lot of this stuff is followed and documented, because this was new once upon a time, and they want to historically follow all the anecdotal cases. But long-term use of methadone is going to eat your body up from the inside out. It's going to destroy your organs and your bones, long-term use. But that's each individual person's right and prerogative to choose whatever they want. Me, I just say go clean and be what you were born to be. That's all. And you could still have a long, productive life and a prosperous life. But we went from Joey Merlino and Mike Franzese to drogas. But I'm open to people that come in here. That's all. So I appreciate the support that people have shown me. And, I got over 1,000 views, which was big. And I thank you, folks. I'm the new guy here that you just checked out. Well, hang out with me a little while. I'm a lonely old man. Hang out here with me. Yeah, then they're all doing meth and all that. There's meth and there's methadone. There's everything. Everybody's trying, But a lot of mental health problems connected to a lot of drug use too, which I'm an expert in. So contact me. I only charge $50 an hour. And I'll get you straight. But no, guess what? No one can get you straight or clean but you. The power doesn't the power doesn't exist somewhere else. And they have the answer to your problem, and they're going to get you clean. Well, Billy and Sally, newsflash, only you can get you clean. Yes, there could be supportive structures in place to maybe kick you in the ass and get you thinking straight. But at the end of the day, it wasn't a drug facility that got you clean. It was you that got you clean. It was you. So, the success rates of drug facilities is only 3 to 5%. So 95% of the time, the drug rehab centers fail. Okay? If you want some numbers, if you want to crunch some numbers, holy cow. Ours is 348. We even going to get the Truth Serum will give you the current price of gas. It's $2.79 a gallon in Cleveland, and it's $3.59 here in this great state of New York, where the governor has got horns. But that's for another time and day. So, we talk about Joey Merlino, we talk about Mike, and that's the situation. And whatever the situation is, I believe Joey Merlino over Mike. That's all. And I had to read people very careful, very, very discriminately when I was running around. I had to read people. Now that I'm an expert, and it's not that I can't be wrong, which I could be, but, yeah. I was on pain medicine, and then I graduated, but I don't act like a weasel, Rick James, and say, well, you know what? The doctor, I got in a car accident, my shoulder, my back, my neck, my back, so then I graduated to heroin. Maybe I just like to rock and roll and feel a good opiate high. That man, and then say, well, I just did it because the doctor put me on this pain medicine, and, it was the doctor's fault, I'm not asking anybody for $50 over here. I was joking, Rick James. So don't come at me sideways with your suspect bullshit. Don't come at me sideways. I was joking. I'm trying to sell a book if you know how to read. You know, I'm trying to sell a book over here if you know how to read. Are you looking for some sort of, are you looking to score off your viewers? Your viewers, I get 30 views for some of my videos. I get 30 views over here. If I got $30 to my name, I'll give it to a hobo I'll give 10 of it to a hobo. Go watch Mike Franzese if you want to get conned out of money. I appreciate you tuning in, man. I don't mean any disrespect. Ask it for 50. You could support my channel if you want. You can support my channel, whatever level it is there. And that I'm not a technical guy. I I wasn't joking about, I lost 7 people to somebody that OD'd. I'm trying to elaborate the facts about the situation. I'm trying to spit the facts about drug addiction and everything else. I've been there and back. I lost many people. I lost a friend that was with me the same day I died. And other people that were close to me. Well, I'm trying to talk shit about, this or that and donate to me. No, I'm not the guy. I'm going to survive in the world. It's not, it's like, I'm going to survive in the world. Nobody has to be who was, nobody has to be. Now, they had these meetings, Rick. And I'm sorry for your loss because I know he's a good guy because he's telling me to calm down. And yes, I'm going to calm down. And they would have these meetings and it would be like, I drank a 6-pack of beer a day. And then the next guy in this knitting circle at these rehabs, well, I drank a 12-pack. And it's like, who could be the most hardcore? It's like a badge of honor. Who could be the most hardcore drug addict? And those meetings aren't shit. They're not nothing. They just keep you on the merry-go-round where you need truth and wisdom and you need empowerment in your own body because people suffer from depression and they give up on life. And if you're a drug addict, then there could be many reasons, that could be stemming from that. We can't just blanket, this is a drug addict and this is why he uses drugs. We can't just make blankets. There's different reasons and motivations for why a person becomes a drug addict. But I'm not going to hide behind the fact that say, well, I started off on doctor's meds and everything else. And then I graduated and said, boy, this heroin is good. No. Maybe I would have just liked to rock and roll. I like the feeling I felt I'm being on opiates. I like that feeling in my body, just like the indigenous people use opiates. They like that feeling. But that's a different culture. Our culture, it's dangerous health-wise and legal-wise. So, that's all. He says, I'll read your comments. Now he's pissed off. You know damn well how my family rose so start bagging. Now you're a troller. This guy's a troller, scumbag. Now he's a stroller. You get it all here, folks. You get it all. You get it all. You know where I frequent. Show up. Whoever the hell you are. You know where I frequent. Show up. Mm-hmm. Well, who is it? You're real cute, bro. You're real cute. So if you know me, you're not Ricka. Well, what's your real name? What's your real name, tough guy? What's your real name? What's your real name? Hmm. You get them all here, folks. You get them all. Troll City. Troll City. And he said, my brother, well, I'm trying to shed some light on that if you're a legitimate guy. I'm trying to shed some light on it. If you had any intellect or an IQ or anything, you'd have seen where I was going. You said you just tuned in, so you didn't have all the information. So come on, Billy. Come on. I'm compassionate for anybody that lost anybody to drugs, but you're going nuts. He said, I just was turned off at that joke, and I lost my brother that you were asking for $50 or whatever. I was joking. I was joking. I was joking, tough guy. I was joking. I was joking. You want to confront me? You can confront me in any way you want. That's all. Batavia 585. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. No shit. No shit. I don't need to look you up. I don't give a shit who you are. You're coming on here talking smack. You misread what I said. You misinterpreted what I was saying about drugs and all of that stuff. I lost a dozen people to ODs. You could walk me like a dog all you want. I've been beat up before. I'm not afraid of getting beat up. You better kill me. That's all. You ever watched a man get pissed off? LOL. So now you have to stop it. Get pissed on or pissed off? You're a troller. Remember the card game? No. No. I don't remember that. I don't remember that. Mm-mm. I don't remember the card game, my friend. I don't remember that. Gibberish. So I wanted to do the video and get that straight about the two biggest names, Joey Merlino and Mike Franzese. Get that straightened out. And I don't know. They should eventually sit down and discuss it. It would get 100 million views and they could make more money off of it. They could prosper even more. But Joey Merlino does go in the streets and he's charitable and they had that drive in Philly during the holidays, I guess, to give whatever resources the homeless needed. So they were on point with that. That was nice. Mike Franzese, there was no food drive or there was none of that this year. I didn't hear anything about it. He didn't promote it on his channel. All he was doing on his channel was trying to sell that cruise. And he was telling the story, and then every 5 minutes, he was like, oh, by the way, go to www.cruise.com and you could get your reservations on there for $10,000. Man, is there anything left sacred out there? What the heck is going on out there? And he made $500 million off of the gas tax scheme. Jeez. Just go out there and give it away to the poor people that are needy. Gosh, that wouldn't take. You could film it with your camera crew. You could film it and show that you did that, you know. That would be nice. That would be real nice. You got the thing. Oh, I got low battery here. But that would be a nice gesture to show that and donate money to a cause and try to help some people out. That's all. It would be good. But you got to stop selling. Jeez. It's all right it's all right to, you know, promote things and make money and all of that kind of stuff. But it's, I don't know. It's just Bush League. All Bush League. It just don't make sense. Sell, sell, sell. Do something for the poor downtrodden. That's all. And whatever you want to straighten out with Joey Merlino, straighten it out. That's all right. So my battery was running low, and thankful for the troller come in, and hey, it's all fun. It's open forum and people come on here and they can interact. I give them the right to that, but they try to get on here and no, we don't have any snow over here, Kevin. So people could decide for themselves what they want to, what flavor of what they want to, what's the truth, what is what. I guess, who's lying, who's a rat. That's the mob genre and everything else. And that's fine. That's good juice, But we covered a lot of here. We covered at 5, at almost 6 in the morning. We covered a lot here. So that's all. Happy holidays. Be safe. Sometimes it's depressing for people, and we lost people, and the table might not look the same. People might be missing at the table, and we go through loss and everything else, and it's tough. It's tough, but we gotta move ahead. We gotta forge ahead, and do the best that we can. It's tough. Life happens, things changes, and that's just the way it is. But we have to. Yeah, you too, Kev. Have a good one. So that's all. Hang in there, folks. You'll get through it all, and I'll do another story about what my godfather or an old story that to just show that a lot of these gangster perceptions, that there were good, nice people out there that did try to help, behind the scenes. So that's, that's all right. So you just get a bigger picture of things. So I'll do one on that in a couple of days or whatnot. But thank you, subscribers, new subscribers that come on here. And, I could be talking about relationships on something, or something about the origins of the Bible or anything like that. But chest of the cheese, man. I've been on here for an hour and 18 minutes. Good morning to you, pal. So, yeah, everyone like and subscribe and all this and that. The guy troller said, I was begging for 50 earlier. I don't know. He just trolled on me. Some tough guy was trolling on me and says, oh, you're making fun of ODs. I OD'd. I OD'd. I was asking whatever, but you get all kinds, I don't, you're a tough guy. I don't fear death. I don't fear death. You seem to know so much about me, then come track me down. That's all. I don't fear it. I don't fear it. I don't fear it. You misinterpreted what I was saying, so get your mind straight. Holy cow. If you lost somebody to that, I sympathize for you. I lost a lot of people from it. I'm not putting it down or trying to put it in a bad light. I shouldn't even be trying to explain it to you. But, what the heck? What the heck? But what are you going to do? That's just the way it is. It takes all kinds out there. I don't fear anything. 'Cause you know where I am, wherever you claim, well, you know, the city and the area code or whatever. Well, that's all. Mike, you early bird. I've been on here for an hour. Good morning, man. Good morning. Rise and shine. It's Reveille. It's Reveille. I try to spread love and compassion on my show too. So that's all. Enough said about that guy. Maybe he's struggling with something, and you know, maybe he's struggling. Life gets tough, you know. That's all. That's all. He put his name in there or whatever. I ain't gonna say his name on there. Maybe there's crazies out there, sir. I don't want to bring anything onto that guy. He put his name in the thing there, but he said his first name. I don't want to bring. This isn't junior high school. Come on, folks. So, yeah, I got antsy. I want to clear up that video about Joey Merlino and Mike Franzese. I just wanted to put some clarity out there because you hear so much, and yeah, come and get some, Buttercup. You know, if you want to come and do some violence on me, I suggest you kill me. I suggest that. If you want to come and do violence, I suggest that's what you do. You better get that straight. You better get that straight. That's all. So, but I don't want to promote any of that stuff. I don't promote it, but the world is the world, you know. I don't care if his name is Charlie Brown. You know, like guys try to say, you know, oh, they're a tough guy. A name isn't nothing. A factory worker could be a tough guy. A factory worker could have big cayunes. It doesn't mean just because, oh, I was associated with a family or anything like that. Anybody could be a tough guy. Oh, my device is going to power down. So, all right, folks. Hey, thank you, the new people that come in here and join me. God bless you. Be the kings and queens of your world. Stay strong. Don't ever give up. And thanks for joining in. And I'll be coming back soon. Thank you, my good friends.